Hey everybody, it's your boy Nerdicane back again doing a review, and this cat might make it interesting. I don't know what he's gonna do. Um, he's super sweet. He may mess with the pages, but we'll see. This is Kickass number 1. I don't know what this is exactly. I don't know if it's a reboot or just Kickass happening again. There's really no reference made to the original Kickass in this. So I'm not real sure what's going on with this book. Now I gotta say, I do sort of like it. I like street level heroes. I like street level stories. Superman, the big galactic god level heroes. They're interesting and they're neat, but they're not really my cup of tea because they're so impervious. That's I always think that's the problem with Superman is he's so impervious that you can't threaten him with anything on Earth. You have to either get kryptonite or you have to bring in these godlike characters like Darkseid to match his invulnerability, his power. So street levels heroes are always my favorite. Heroes with flaws, heroes with vulnerabilities. And that's what this is in a lot of ways. Now, there's some weird story stuff and there's some weird editing stuff. Here is credit where credit's due. I kind of like I like the art. I don't like the character, the main character. I don't like her design. It's very thin. This is supposed to be, she's supposed to be a Marine, and she's supposed to be a combat Marine. And, even if she's only like 5'6", 5'7", you're supposed to have muscled up quite a bit. And in this, she's just very thin looking. But the premise, and I don't know if this has anything to do with the original Kick-Ass story or if this is just a retelling. First off, the story editing is too fast. There's not enough. In this one issue, if they had just slowed down the progression and maybe ended on, if they had ended on this, her getting captured, it might have added a little more interest for issue 2. But, it shows her getting captured, and then it shows a couple weeks ago, in fact, 12 weeks. So she went, and here's another part of the story that I don't like. She went from Afghanistan combat Marine 12 weeks ago, and then suddenly she's out of the military and she's back in civilian life. And anybody who's actually been in the military, that doesn't happen. You don't get back and get out that quickly. So this is a little, this is a bit of the problem that I have with the story. Also, this fight scene is a little weird. It doesn't feel, this feels like, the way he's standing is a little weird for a close-in gunfight. Close-in gunfight is going to be very intense. It's going to be smoke-filled and brutal, and it's just going to be ugly. But it just shows this rescue mission. Once again, in the military, you don't really go off the reservation like this. You don't really go strike out on your own with one other dude. You always have backup. You're always in contact. Basically, if you had done what they did, you would have been captured and held for months, and then probably returned in a prisoner exchange that we should have never done. Just my opinion on that situation. But here we go. She's like right back into civilian life, and apparently her husband leaves her. So I guess he's like an artist musician type, and he leaves her for a Wybish. That's kind of stupid. I don't like that either because he just leaves his kids. I know there's a lot of dads who are like not really into their kids, but I am one who is totally into their kid, and I just don't see this as, no. So she gets out, and she has trouble finding a job, which is nowadays not really that difficult for a vet to get out. Because, I mean, there's a lot of support and there's a lot of things helping. And there's a lot of people who are just like dying to hire a vet, especially a black female vet. They would, you would find a security job somewhere. But for the purposes of the story, they have to keep it moving. And I guess this is her cousin, who's sort of a pseudo low-level criminal, goes into like, this is life. This is like when you have a kid, they're going to scream from another room to come wipe my butt. Now, my 1-year-old isn't at that point yet, but I changed most of the diapers. What's this cat doing? This is Little. This is my wife's cat. This is the super sweet one. And he likes to make cameos in my videos every once in a while. So, as you saw, I was just kind of like doing this, gesturing, and he started swiping at my hands. And it goes from like, she goes from like not being able to get a job to, okay, I'm just going to be a hero. I'm just going to be a superhero. And this is like part of the problem that I have with the editing is this leap of, there's the leap when she gets out of the Marines. And then there's this leap that a little more progression, a little more editing in the story could have helped. She just goes from, I'm having trouble finding a job, having trouble making ends meet, superhero. So it shows her first sort of mission that she's going to this place where these guys are, and these are kind of like, I guess, generic criminals. It doesn't really go into what they do or why she's going there. But they capture her pretty easily. If they had just left it at the capture or here, this probably would have been pretty cool, and I probably would have been a little more excited for the next one. But, she's kick-ass, so she just basically mows through, 1, 2, 3, I think 5 guys who had her down on the ground with a gun to her head. Once again, very unlikely, even though, yes, she's a Marine and she's trained, so that helps, but she's just drawn her design is just so thin, you don't really think she has the strength to do that. But here's the cool part. She went in there to rob the place, which is, I think, the redeeming quality of this book. I don't like books. I don't like very one-dimensional heroes. I like them to be flawed. I like them to be much more human. I like them to have issues. And this character has issues. She's broke. She's going out of money. And it speaks to, like, if you were to hypothetically be a superhero or a hero and you were taking down bad guys, there would be an element that you would have to decide. There's a couple elements. Do you kill? Do you not kill? Once you take down the bad guy, there's always money involved. There's always weapons. There's always drugs. What do you do with all those things? And this one addresses the issue of the money. What are you going to do with the money? And her decision on that is, I'm going to take the money. And really, that's the whole motivation of this. She's just taking down these bad guys for the money. So, and it's an interesting take, and it is an angle. I think this character would fit better into a team. I don't know why they went with Kickass either. You could have just done a totally different story. Mark Millar is very famous for this character and the work on this. I don't know why he would do it again. I mean, if you were successful, and I would figure out as a creative, if you were successful in something with a story, with a comic, you wouldn't want to just keep doing that for the rest of your career. You'd want to branch out and do a side story, do a different character. So yeah, it's a little weird that this is called Kickass, and it's kind of, it has the name, but it has no real connection yet to the Kickass that we all know from before. So yeah, it's a little weird. I'm not sure what's going on there. But we'll see as it goes. DNC didn't like this book. I think it's okay. There are issues with the comic, but I think it does address that really interesting question of what pushes somebody to do this, and after you've done it, what do you do with the things that are left, the guns, the weapons, the drugs, whatever you come across. As I was saying before, I think this would be better if she were part of like a team and there was a conflict inside of the team where she's like, okay, whatever money we find, we keep. And then other people are like, no, we need to donate it. No, we need to burn it because it's dirty money. If that were a conflict within the team, I think this would make this character and the other characters more interesting. But that's just what I would do with this story. It's interesting. We'll see where it goes. It's probably going to be, it's Mark Millar, it's Kickass. It's probably going to be pretty violent. And generally I like the art. The things about it, I generally like the art. So this fight scene was a little weird. But I think it's an interesting book. I think you should check it out. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. How much was this? $3.99? I'll give it another issue and see what happens in the next issue, and then sort of make a decision on whether I'm going to keep going with this or not. But that's my review of it. I think it's, if you like Kick-Ass, if you like the world, if you like Mark Millar, pick it up. If not, if you're a little apprehensive about it, I guess wait for the trade paperback so you can have it all together, or maybe watch some more reviews on it. But I'm Nerdicane. You can hit me up here. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me up on Xbox Live. I have the same handle all three places. Thank you for watching. Thanks for your time. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and oh, if you buy this, use that hashtag Move the Needle. I haven't got one yet, so my first Move the Needle will be a pretty big deal. I'll be pretty excited about that. But thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye from Nerdicane and bye from Little the cat. Thanks.